the heart of Pretoria, I am meeting up with Chef Naledi to cook up a storm with our adorable kids. Cooking can help young children learn and practice basic maths concepts and build their language skills, while the experience helps to increase their self-confidence and lay the foundation for healthy eating habits. Well then, let's get to it.
Thank you once again, Tumi, for coming into my kitchen with these little ones. I'm super excited.
I think I'm the most excited because it's that time of the year and all the parents are frantically running around looking for ideas on what to pack for those kiddies' lunchboxes. And that's where you come in.
Yeah.
You're going to be helping me and the rest of South Africa with the perfect lunchbox ideas. So what's on the menu?
So we have quite a number of things, hence I'm excited. We're going to start with the tuna cakes. Then we'll bring in the older ones to do our butternut fritters. So with these little ones, we'll be helping them. We're cooking along with them. So they'll be doing everything else except the stovetop.
Okay.
For safety reasons, obviously.
Of course.
Then we have our baked chicken Gujans. So that will be quite easy and actually quite healthy because we're not deep frying them as usual. So that's something nice. And then a lot of our parents still give our little ones juices to school. We need to really try and reduce all that sugar intake. So we're going to be doing a homemade iced tea, a fruity one for that matter.
Okay, South Africa, I'm sure you are just as excited as I am, so you better make sure you go to afternoonexpress.co.za for the full ingredients list.
Easy stuff. We're basically just going to be mixing everything into one bowl.
Okay.
How easy is that?
That's perfect.
So we start off with our potatoes.
Okay.
So we can mash them. You'll realize that our potatoes are not peeled because the skin of the potato has the most nutrients, more than the flesh. So that's why I hardly peel potatoes. So Rati, mash for us.
All right, so it's the potatoes that are basically the base of the fish cake.
Yes.
And then we've also
we've got the tuna, we've got the onion, we've got the egg to bind it together. We've also got flour, we've got salt just to season it. We've got lemon juice, you know, lemon and fish, best of friends. And then we always have something fresh as well, the herbs. You can use fresh herbs or dried herbs. So in here, we've chopped fresh coriander.
Okay,
Basically,
perfect.
that's it.
And she was actually asking me now, should remove the skin? No, parents, do not remove the skin.
Do not remove the skin. So you don't need to mash it, just smash it and have little chunks as well.
Okay.
Yeah. He's going to help us add more of the ingredients.
Okay.
You guys can start with the tuna.
Okay, perfect.
You can take the onion. Kali, take the onion and put it in there.
Yay.
Boy. Take the flour.
All right. Just pour it in there, Mama. Perfect.
Take the herbs.
I'm thinking of, let's do this, to make this a bit simpler, because you can see she's basically as big as this bowl. I'm going to just halve these ingredients.
With these ones? Okay.
I'm going to halve and put the other half in there. And then it's going to be easier to mix when we've got half in the one. And then that one looks a bit restless. That's why I'm thinking maybe he can also just help with mixing there. So you guys can have that. And we'll mix in this one. Mix in baby girl.
Okay. Let's use our hands. Like this.
Yes.
Mash. Wow.
Perfect.
Nice.
Don't roll it yet,
that?
just mix it. Perfect. And South Africa, we did wash our hands, we did sanitize, so don't worry. Everything, protocol observed. Don't worry about that. Okay, perfect. So I think our side is mixed up enough. That also looks perfectly mixed. We're not rolling just yet, my baby girl. You see, excitement all around.
Okay, I'm just
perfect.
going to quickly break this egg.
Okay.
Beat it a little bit, and then I'm going to add half into his mixture.
Okay.
And then the other half into her mixture.
Okay, perfect, South Africa. So that's another thing then. If we weren't to use tuna, what other protein or meat could we use, or rather protein actually, that could we use in this recipe?
Okay, I usually use tuna because my kids love tuna. Well, they love seafood.
Okay.
So you can use hake as well, which is quite nice. Or if you don't want to make it a meaty one, just use vegetables. Let me put onto your hand.
You start rolling it. Be as gentle as possible. Don't pressure to
roll. Let me show you. You want to see how we do it? Okay.
Let me wait, baby.
So let's do this first. So that it's binding together.
Like a ball.
Like this. Yeah. We roll it.
So the trick, South Africa, is to not use the fingers, just use the palms, and then roll it into a nice little ball. Then you can just flatten it. And those are the fish cakes. So let's see. Just the palms, good girl, and then make it flat. Chef, I don't know how you do it because you're actually working quite well with that little one. I know whenever I'm with him in the kitchen, it's always a war. Is that the reason you became a chef specifically for kids, like making kids recipes? Is it something you've always wanted to do?
I was inspired by my little ones. I'm always busy. I travel quite a lot. So for me, it was let me teach them how to be independent.
Okay.
So they don't need me or they don't need auntie to be there in order for them to eat. Or even waking up early. Some days I just want to just sleep in. But having to wake up so early to prepare the lunchbox was like, no, I need to make a plan. So I did make a plan. And that's how I started with the kiddies classes. My friends saw this and they were like, look, we need you to teach our kids as well. So that's how it all started.
And how long would you normally want to cook these for on the pan?
About 2 minutes on each side or until they're golden brown. It's just to give them color because they're honestly already cooked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So maybe this is the time for you guys and I to wash our hands. Let's go wash our hands.
While they're washing their hands, I'm just going to quickly fry this. So we're literally just going to have them in there till they turn golden brown. Done with the first one. So this is just to get them golden brown because everything in here is already pretty much cooked, and we finally chop the onions. If you've got kids who really don't like onions, please, you can just ignore and not put them in. Okay, these are ready now, so I am going to be taking them out.
Well, chef, these two, as you can see, are very excited to try these. They've actually worked very hard, worked off a sweat. What else do we have coming up? Because I think we're going to have to let these two go so they can enjoy.
Look, he already wants to eat. So next we're going to be doing some butternut fritters.
Well, that sounds absolutely amazing. In South Africa, while these two go enjoy their fish cakes, we've got some more butternut fritters coming up.
Express yourself.
the sun is out. It's giving us an opportunity to be out with the children. I mean,
Definitely. You know what? This is a once in, a month for us to go out. We don't go out regularly. So
I know.
it's a beautiful day.
I know, but I need to touch on something that's very important. You're a chef.
Yes.
Of all the things that you could have become, you could have become a model, you could have become the president, and you chose to become a chef. Why is that?
Yes. Look, I've always loved cooking. I grew up in a family of cooks, so that obviously played a role. But I think also just my children inspired me to do more, especially specialize with kiddies cooking and just to make them independent.
That's a really amazing thing, and I think touching on what you said, that you're a chef for children, I mean, with all the COVID restrictions, how are you managing that? How are you still maintaining the cooking classes for the kids?
Yeah, I've actually slightly pivoted during this COVID time. So I've taken them online, where we have group classes, but online. So obviously then the parents also have to be present for adult supervision. So it's quite fun, because then as a parent, you also get time to spend with your child in the kitchen. So that's the fun part about it.
And the funny part is a lot of the times it's actually the parents that need the cooking lessons
Yep.
more than the little ones.
That's very true.
But anyway, I'm loving the fact that they're enjoying themselves right now, because
They
being cooped up
are.
in the home has been such a mind-boggling thing, such a shift.
Being out here is great.
Even though it works for us, I mean, as parents, we love spending time with our children. But at some point, you get to a point where you're like, I love you.
Hey, but
But I
can you
also need my
please?
Okay, but I think let's go.
Let's join them.
Let's join them. Eita hola Mzansi, and yes, you are still cooking along with us. We made a first dish for the babies, right? Because it's a kiddies cook along today. We made the fish cakes, they've gone off to indulge. We're now in the second part of our kiddies cook along, but it's feeling quiet over here.
Mom!
Hey, you.
Hi, Mommy.
Hi, girl.
The little kids made some fish cakes. How about us?
Don't worry, I've got something up my sleeves for you guys.
Okay.
Do me. Let me introduce you to my little one.
Please do.
We've got Arnaya here.
Okay.
But we call her Yaya. And we've got Yatla right here. So these are the little ones that are always in my kitchen and cooking up a storm in our kitchen. They're the ones who are always doing the lunch boxes and whatever you see on my social media pages that has to do with kids. So look at the faces.
Okay, South Africa, these are the stars of the show today. So guys, what are we making today?
Today we're going to be making some butternut fritters.
Okay, take us through it then.
So the ingredients we have is 1 egg, cinnamon, baking powder, flour, coconut milk, some oil, and some chopped butternut. So right now we're going to put the chopped butternut into a pot. So Yatla, do you want to put the chopped butternut for me? I'm honored to.
Okay. The one thing I'm seeing that's different about this cook along is that the first part, we were busy with the little ones and there was a lot more of us involved here. So these ones are basically doing their own thing.
Always.
Do we even need to be in the kitchen?
And some coconut cream.
So is this your favorite, or is there another kind of different dish that you like?
So normally, yes, we do like butternut fritters, but I'm more into baking. So probably my favorite one would be cinnamon swirls.
Cinnamon swirls.
Or anything got to do with chocolate.
Interesting.
And for you, Yatla, tell them what you love.
I love Swiss rolls.
Swiss rolls. Oh, they've got quite a sweet tooth this one.
Clearly. Okay, Chef, so take us through it, right? We've got the butternut in there and we've got the coconut milk. What happens next?
Okay, we've got our butternut in there with our coconut milk cooking. However, we've pre-prepped as well. So we've got our cooked one in there. And basically, they're going to be mashing it before they add in the other ingredients.
Okay, and ideally, how long would that take for it to cook?
About 15 minutes. Try to keep it on low heat so that the coconut milk really infuses into the butternut.
Okay, guys, have fun mashing these butternut because it's already been cooked all the way. All you need to do now is just mash it up to what consistency, Chef? How thick do you want it, or runny?
It can still be chunky. I really like chunky vegetables instead of the mushy ones. As if, look, the mushy ones are for those who are still very young, like our babies when we introduce them to solids.
Yeah.
So these ones are very nice and chunky. Here's a spoon for you to take also from the sides.
Okay.
I shouldn't even be helping you here.
And is this what makes you, what you enjoy about cooking with your mom, getting your hands dirty and enjoying all of this cooking? Or have you always do you also have a passion for cooking?
I have a little bit of a passion for cooking. I'm a bit like the opposite of my mom. I do love cooking, but I love baking the most, and my mother doesn't like baking at all.
That's quite true. I don't like baking. So I'm just going to add in half of the flour into his, and then the other half into Arnaya's. Here we go.
Okay, and Yatla, I mean, you guys are here together, cooking together. I'm sure you've been cooking with your mom as well. Is there one dish that you enjoy preparing with her?
Yes.
Which one?
Pizza.
Okay, and you've made your own pizza from scratch? Okay, then maybe next time we come here, you guys are going to show us exactly how to make the pizza from scratch and basically all the toppings and everything like that, right?
Yep.
What's your favorite pizza topping?
Pepperoni.
Okay.
He loves that one. Dumi, can you please assist with those ones, the rest of the ingredients?
I'd say my favorite is just anything with meat.
Anything with meat. So any pizza that's got meat in it is your favorite. Okay, perfect. Do I put it in the baking powder and the cinnamon?
We can put them in all together. Here we go. Then we can just beat the egg.
Let me do that on the side and then I'll just
Alright.
add it into...
Yatla, you can continue with your mixing here, Nana.
Okay. So I'm also
Can you
just...
smell that?
I can actually. I can smell the cinnamon all the way from here. So basically, like you said, we still want them to hold their shape and be nice and firm,
Yes.
right? You want to pour that in there for him.
See.
And I thought that the silence would only apply to the little ones, but it looks like even the big ones, once they start getting busy, actually just put all their focus on this.
On the cooking. No, that's very, very true. But as you can see, she's the more talkative one. Honestly, Yatla's not big in the kitchen. He enjoys gardening more. So we've got a little veggie patch where he takes care of all the gardening, the watering and everything. So it's well balanced, teamwork.
I see. But then, Chef, I also have to ask this, which I'm sure a lot of parents are curious about. When cooking with children in the kitchen, there have to be some precautions that we take to make sure that we keep them safe, because you don't want them cutting themselves, burning themselves. What are the top tricks or top tips to give to parents when cooking with the children? Or maybe you look like you want to answer these.
So normally at our kiddies cook along, we have very strict rules when cooking with children to make sure they are well protected and safe.
Okay.
So first of all, we assist young children with dangerous objects like knives, for example, or we chop it for them. And when it comes to the oven, my mom is usually the one putting things in the oven, so you know we don't burn ourselves. And yes, to also be safe during this corona, we always wash our hands before we start eating.
And then you were saying as well, Chef, that before you actually start the cooking lessons with the kids, you like to basically lay out all the ingredients for them, which in essence is part of cooking school, where we're taught of mise en place. Yes. And you're taught to lay out the ingredients ahead of time.
That's very, very true. She also knows I always shout at her if I find that she started cooking but all her ingredients are not on the countertop. So I usually prepare the ingredients for them, but first and foremost, before anything, we have what we call our theory, where we just go through kitchen rules. So I'd say, what are your kitchen rules? What are the kitchen rules? And what are you not supposed to do in the kitchen? Like run around, play with sharp objects, do not touch the stove without an adult, do not use the oven without an adult. So those kind of things. And we also teach them about the 5 senses and how they use their 5 senses in the kitchen. So it's quite important for you to also be, educate them while they're having fun. So it's educational fun.
Perfect. That sounds absolutely amazing. I think now maybe might be the perfect time for us to start frying up our fritters. Okay.
Alright.
So do you want to deep fry them or do you shallow fry them?
I shallow fry them.
Okay, perfect. Okay, and you guys have been doing a lot of cooking with your mom, and I think we focused on Yaya and the fact that you love being in the kitchen. But your mom mentioned a lot about you being in the garden. What exactly, why the garden? What do you love about it?
I like watering and getting my hands dirty.
All right, chef, so they've mixed everything up now. Is this the consistency we're going for?
Perfect consistency.
Okay.
So what I've done now, I've just poured a bit of oil, just to cover the base of the pan. We're going to shallow fry it instead of deep fry.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, chef, today we're using butternut to make butternut fritters. What other veggies could we replace that with? But I think we could also add stuff.
You can definitely add some stuff. Look, I prefer using coconut milk just for the flavor, but if you don't want coconut milk, you can always use water to cook that, the thing.
Butternut.
The butternut.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can always add other veggies. Like your baby marrows, you can add them. Your carrots as well, you can add them. Your potatoes to make potato fritters. Sweet corn, which is one of our personal favorites as well. So we add sweet corn to it.
And I mean, you did mention that you could add any other veggie into it. Could you also add meat into it?
Yes, shredded chicken fillet you can add into it. Mince you can add into it too. So it's also very important that the adults are here to assist with oil because you don't want your kids being burnt by hot oil.
Very important point. Yeah, I think you were going to actually touch on that because you were busy poking me to be like, hey, what did you want to say about that?
Kids mustn't be near oil, and it is highly advisable to have adult supervision required when kids are near or using any oil.
Is there one particular dish that parents always go back to? Are there any specific questions that always come up whenever you have cook-alongs with children?
I think the biggest or the most common question that I get, how do I make my children eat vegetables? Because a lot of children really are picky eaters, and I totally understand that. But I always say teach them from a very young age. When you introduce them to solids, that's when you introduce them to the different vegetables. And how you can hide them? Many ways to hide many ways to hide your veggies. So like I was saying, you can grate, even in burgers, if you make burgers, grate your little baby marrows, carrots, whatever you have, if you can grate it into those, the patties as well. Yes. So that's how you get to hide them.
And I'm actually liking this recipe very much because just looking at it, it's very simple. You could even make savory pancakes if you'd like to South Africa for the little ones, because yes, we're making a savory dish here. You could make savory pancakes. But another thing I've noticed, you've not put any sweetening. Normally when people make butternut, they'll add the sugar and the honey. Is there a reason for that?
There's cinnamon.
Ah.
Yeah.
And if you don't know South Africa, the reason we're saying there's cinnamon is because there are certain spices that when you add to food, it lightens the actual flavor of the meat.
The natural flavor of the food. Yes, that's correct. I think my kids will attest to it, how much I hate sugar. So we hardly have any sweetness or sugar in our recipes. If there is something, it has to be a tiny, weeny bit. So even when she bakes, I always say put half the amount required.
Okay, that absolutely looks amazing, Naledi. It smells amazing, South Africa. I can smell the cinnamon all the way from here. But it looks like we're basically almost done with this dish, right?
So we're just basically going to dish it out and then that's it.
Okay, so guys, there's still more coming up, right? So what's the next dish that they're going to be preparing with us?
We've got baked chicken Gujans coming along just now.
All right, South Africa, join us again. We've got baked chicken Gujans coming up.
Hey babies, have some fun.
Express yourself.
Protect what matters to you with insurance from Standard Bank. SMS Life to 31492 for a quote that fits your needs.
guys, now that we're done with the putt-putt, the trampoline, I've got something exciting for you guys to do with your hands. We're going to be making Play-Doh. Let me quickly take you through what we're going to be using. We've got flour, we've got salt, we've got cream of tartar, we've got oil, and the different food coloring. So maybe one of you is going to make pink, the other one will make red, the other one will make green, or maybe even mix the colors. So guys, let's get rolling. Gonna put the flour in. Yatla, bring yours closer so I can assist you there. Then the cream of tartar. Then we've got the salt. Then a bit of oil. Now you guys have to choose the colors you want, okay? Aranaya, which color do you want?
I think I'm gonna make pink and green.
Okay, a bit of pink and the green. Can I put in the red for you?
Yes, please.
All right, great. Now we're going to add in the hot water. Careful there, always have an adult assisting you here. There we go. A bit of hot water on that one too. Great, now dig in with your spatulas, guys. So if your consistency is a bit too watery, just add more flour, and if it's too thick, add a bit of water again. There we go. Awesome. Once your Play-Doh is a pasta dough consistency, then you know it is perfect. And now because it is cold, you can set aside your spatulas and use your hands.
These ones are already way ahead of us. You see, they already got their hands dirty.
Clearly.
Now, Mama Bear and not Chef. We're out here with the little ones. What is the importance of spending time with our little kids?
It's very, very, very important. And I actually really schedule time out to spend with my kids because sometimes my schedule can get really hectic. So for me, I actually really block out literally from my calendar and say time with kids or time with family. Because you get to know your children a bit more. You get to conversate with them and do a lot of things with them.
And what activities do you personally do with them to keep them mentally stimulated?
Apart from cooking, we've got a lot of things that we do. For example, we have movie nights, and for movie nights, they prepare the snacks for movie nights. We've got game nights, so we have different board games that we play. But we also have like books of past crosswords. So we would then have a competition of who's going to finish the crossword quicker or the fastest. So yeah, those are some of the things that we do. Apart from also playing soccer outside, because we obviously have to do some physical activity. Yeah.
Now, you brought out the Play-Doh today. Is there a reason why you chose Play-Doh specifically?
Well, I was thinking about these little ones. Look, just with the mixing, you know, the mixing of the different ingredients, obviously that stimulates the mind. Also using their hands for touch, so that's the sense of touch, and creativity on what they're going to be creating with the Play-Doh. So he wants to do something like a Spider-Man, she wants to do Barbie doll, you know, so it always brings out some bit of creativity in them.
Is that a reason why you also use different colors? Because that's also helping them with their memory for color stimulation.
That's very important because that's another thing. Then you can always ask them, what color is this? What color is that? What color bowl do you want? You know, so that you can see, do they actually remember colors? So yeah, that's quite important when it comes to stimulation. And of course fun. And of course, most importantly, spending time with them.
True. This has been an amazing experience, Naledi, just getting to spend time with our little ones, you know, and all the lessons you've taught us today, especially that Play-Doh recipe. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome to me. It's been such an amazing experience having you and the little ones with me. I hope you certainly have learned quite a bit about entertaining them. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Only tuning in now, where have you been? You missed our fish cakes and And you also missed the fritters, but luckily we've still got something in store for you. Chef, we are in the third part of our cook-along, and you've got something very interesting in store for us, right?
Yes, definitely. We've got baked chicken Gujans, well, cheesy as well. So quite excited about it.
Okay. For the layman's terms, what is Gujans? What are Gujans? What exactly goes into that?
So it's just basically strips. So you can have fish Gujans, the chicken one. So it's just basically your chicken fillet cut into strips.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. And what exactly goes into this dish?
Okay, we've got our chicken fillet, we've got eggs, we've got breadcrumbs, which we're going to also put cheese into it. So we're going to grate the cheese. And then to go with this, we've got a dip, which is mayo and sweet chili, as easy as that.
You know, the one thing I've seen throughout this cook-along is that you've kept the ingredients very simple, very easy, and also very economical. I mean, all of these ingredients I'd like to think most people have in their pantry or fridge. So it also saves you a whole lot of money, right?
Look, the easiest thing to do, stress-free, look for ingredients that are easily accessible, ingredients that are commonly used in the household.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So let's get our hands dirty, guys. I'm going to start grating. Okay, first you're going to show us exactly how to cut those Gujans you talked about.
So we're going to take our chicken and basically just cut it into strips.
Okay.
There we go.
The way you guys are looking at your mom, it's as if you're curious about cutting this. Have you ever made the Gujans yourself before?
Yes.
Yes. Yaya has with the other kiddies cook along. So she's sort of my assistant with the kiddies cook along classes. So that's why she's done so many of the dishes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, Chef, is there a specific technique you want to use when cutting the chicken, or just
cut it into finger-sized strips, so you don't need a specific. Remember, you're also doing it for kids, so nothing too fancy as well.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, and the next step?
Can I cut?
Yatla, can you take us through the next step?
Next step, I'm going to be cracking these eggs.
Okay. What's wrong?
I want to cut.
Do you want her to cut?
Yes.
You want to cut? No, it's fine. You'll be doing the dipping on that side, Michael.
Okay. Egg number 1.
Do you know if there are any tricks to checking if eggs are fresh or not?
Yeah, knows.
Okay, yeah, tell us.
I just shake them, or I crack them and then just peep a little bit before I put them in with the other eggs,
And then what did I tell you about not breaking them into one?
so that they don't mix, so that you don't mistake a proper egg with a one that's rotten.
Yeah.
That's what I can say.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect. Okay, Chef, I don't see any whisks over here. So is there a preference between fork and whisk?
Look, whatever you have, a fork does the job either way. Not every household has a whisk, right?
I get you fully. So,
all right.
I've started with the grating of our cheese over here, because you said it also is going to go into the bread.
Yes. Yeah. We'll start with the dip for the thing.
So right now I have some chili sauce and some mayo, and I'm just gonna pour the chili into the mayo.
Sweet chili.
Sweet chili.
Do you like sweet chili?
Yes. Am I done?
You don't sound too excited about that, yes. Do you? Don't you?
Yeah, like anything chili.
Does she though?
She does. She does. All right.
Chef, in here right now we've got some mayo and some sweet chili sauce, but you could obviously also use perhaps chutney.
Yes, and even barbecue sauce. So anything goes, almost anything goes. Not completely everything.
Okay, guys, I think this is the time to get your hands dirty, right? So I've grated up some cheese over here. All right, Chef, what's the next step for this recipe now?
Okay, I'm just going to get this in order for them so that it's easier for them to work with. Yaya, you know what's next.
So right now what I'm going to do is we're going to take the cheese,
Okay.
and I'm just going to sprinkle some into the breadcrumbs. Just going to mix it.
Okay, while she's doing that, Yatla, you can start the process on this side.
I am going to take the
Chicken.
chicken
Chef, I noticed you didn't add any salt to the breadcrumbs.
Yes, I didn't. Cheese has salt, so I try to minimize the amount of salt that we eat in the household, and as much as I do with sugar. So the cheese already is a bit salty, so that's why. So yeah, we'll take over from there. Yatla, back here.
Okay. All right, Chef, and I think this is what I'm absolutely loving here. The fact that you're taking something that you love, cooking, and you've made it not only an activity where other parents can get involved, but something that you get to spend time with you get to spend time with your children. It's family time. All of us right now, with the pandemic that's upon us, we're looking for ways to spend as much time as we can with our loved ones, and I think this is by far one of the most interesting. Yes, it's time consuming, but it's a leisure of love.
Yeah, no, definitely. Look, I call it educational fun because remember, whatever you're teaching them, nobody else can take it away from them. So it's a lifetime skill for them. They maybe in the future will transfer it to their children as well. So yeah, it's a really good way to spend time with your children, educating them. We need to minimize screen time.
Yeah.
But I think most importantly as well is to teach them the benefits of each ingredient that we use, because children can be very picky eaters, like I said. So if you teach them as you go along, eat this, eat that, and those are the reasons. He's a soccer player, so he drinks. What do you drink a lot? What do you love? Yatla? Milk.
Okay.
So he does not go to bed without drinking milk because he knows the benefits of drinking milk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. I mean, Yatla, like Mama just said, you drink milk because you need it because you're a soccer player. But is there one ingredient in your house that you absolutely always have to have, that Mama always has to have in the fridge or in the pantry? No. Anything goes.
Yeah.
So it's anything, basically.
He eats everything. Weird enough, he eats more of the green stuff.
Oh,
so
he's got
even
green hands,
smoothies,
though.
Yes.
Okay.
And the other one on that side, what's your favorite thing? What does Mommy always have to have?
Me?
Yes.
Carrots.
Yeah.
Wow,
That's true. She snacks on carrots.
That's actually quite interesting that our kids are like that, because I know with my son, he absolutely loves cucumbers. So to find out that they're not mentioning any sweets, they're not mentioning any, yes, they might have a sweet tooth, but they're still mentioning stuff that's quite on the healthier side of life.
That's good. Isn't that great?
That is actually, especially for us, because veggies and so forth are much more economical than all that stuff that has all that sugar. So Chef, you guys are still breading the chicken Gujans for us. We need to bake these in the oven. How long would you want to bake this for, and at what temperature?
So we've preheated the oven to 180, and then I will leave them in there for about 7 minutes before I turn them over. We've sprayed this already so that it doesn't stick to that.
Okay, perfect.
Turn them over for another 5 minutes or so.
All right. And besides chicken and fish, is there another type of protein that we could use for this? Because I'm thinking right now, perhaps a cheese like halloumi could work if someone is trying.
If somebody's, that's definitely something vegetarian.
Chef, I remember the one time I went to Belgium, and another alternative could possibly be avo, because I actually saw them deep frying avo, right? So that's another alternative that people could use, right?
Definitely. Look, we even deep fry baby marrows these days.
I know.
So you can even try it vegetarian.
Yes. That actually is a great option. So we're not leaving anyone out. If you're a meat eater, you can definitely do the chicken and the fish. If you're a vegetarian, you could use the halloumi. And if you're vegan, you could actually leave out the cheese altogether and just use avos and breadcrumbs, right?
Definitely. But now there's also dairy-free, lactose-free cheese that you can try.
That is also very true.
All right, into the oven it goes, guys. Last one.
Last one
We'll
in.
put it into the oven.
And South Africa, remember, to get your hands on these amazing recipes, all you need to do is to go to afternoonexpress.co.za for the full ingredients list and steps. Now, Chef, we're on the third recipe, but you promised us a fourth.
I did, and I always keep my promises. So remember I said we're trying to move away from juices, so we're going to make a very refreshing, fruity, homemade iced tea.
Well, Chef, that sounds absolutely refreshing. So why don't you guys go get the picnic setting ready while your mom and I make that iced tea. So South Africa, join us after these.
Express yourself.
fresh milk.
Made with love by Clover. Express yourself.
We've been cooking up a storm here in Chef Naledi's kitchen with our children-friendly cook-along. We started it off with some delicious tuna cakes, followed it up with some amazing butternut fritters, and now she's just taken out those beautiful golden brown Gujans. Those look absolutely amazing, Chef.
Thank you, Dumi.
I cannot wait to sink my teeth into that, and I know the kiddies are just as excited as I am. But we're about to make a recipe that started off with you mentioning something about you not necessarily liking juice. Is there a reason for that?
Look, for me, fruit juices are generally really too sweet for my kids. But should you really, really want to give them juice, I say go 50-50. So dilute them with water. Don't just give them that juice just like that. So yeah, it sort of reduces the amount of sugar they're taking.
True, and I guess that's where this recipe that we're about to make comes in, because now you actually control the amount of sugar
that you add.
Yes, the sweetness that goes into it. I mean, we're talking sugar, but you could use an alternative. You could use sugar, honey, which is what we're using today. And we are making iced tea South Africa. If you haven't already guessed it, we've got beautiful ingredients out here. While you're finishing up, I'm just going to tell the people what we've got out here.
Great.
We've got some peaches, we've got some berries, which are also in season. We've got blueberries, we've got strawberries, and obviously to tie it all down, we've got some mint for that fresh flavor. So what would you like me to start doing on my side?
Okay, please put in the tea bags and then add the water.
All right. For this recipe, we've gone for 5 tea bags of rooibos tea, right? Is there a reason why you're choosing rooibos?
It's healthier.
Okay.
And if you use specific brands, they're also endorsed by the Heart and Stroke Foundation. So that's really, really good for the kids as well. Well, and adults.
And I think this is the perfect time to add the honey, right? Just so it dissolves perfectly.
Don't add too much, that's enough.
Okay. She did say, South Africa, that Yena and Zwikiri are not friends.
And actually, my kids don't even add honey to it.
Are you for real?
We just have it like that. We drink tea like that. No sugar, no honey, nothing.
Yep.
I'm cutting up the strawberries. You can cut up the peaches there while the tea bags seep in. This you can make and just refrigerate.
Okay.
So you can do it like the day before, and then you just put it into the kids' school lunch box as well, that juice bottles. And another thing, just always remember to add a bottle of water every time. A bottle of water. Water is extremely important.
Water is life.
Is life.
And, you know, Chef Naledi, this is my first year actually living with my son alone, just the two of us with no one else involved. And I'm not going to say struggling, but I'm finding it a little difficult with getting recipes that work for him, especially for lunch boxes. You know, you want stuff that is not that doesn't make them too hyper. The last thing you want is for the teachers to complain and say, we can't keep him still. He just does not, you know, sit still during class.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that this can be added into a scuffteen, and you regulate the amount of sugar. And we've already mentioned about how our kids like the freshness. So yours don't like the sugar, mine likes the cucumber. So I could even add cucumber right into this.
You definitely can. And the nice part about it is that they actually eat the fruit from that as well.
Very, very true.
So it's really good that they also eat the fruit from that. There we go. And remember, fruits also have sugar, natural sugar in it. So you don't necessarily have to add sugar. I always say our children actually learn from a very young age, acquired taste. So if you teach your child sweet things from a very young age, they're obviously going to have an extremely sweet tooth.
Very, very true. You might be wondering why we've already put the fruits into this warm mixture and not adding the ice beforehand. Chef, do you want to tell the people why?
Well, the hot water actually extracts that flavor from the juices, so it gets infused into the iced tea.
Making it even more flavorful and pungent with that flavor that we want there.
Yes.
Sweet 16.
Yes.
I'm not going to say much. Tell us about Sweet 16.
Oh, to me. So I met my husband 16 years ago. That's why the sweet 16. So yes, I met him 16 years ago, but we've been married for 11 years now.
Wow. I mean, that's hard to come by, I mean, with this day and age.
That's true.
Things don't last. Batteries don't last. Relationships don't last. And here you are, 16 years in, 11 years in marriage. How?
There's no recipe.
That's the one thing. So, Chef, we're done with the cook-along. How's about we go do an eat-along with the little ones? Let's go join the kids.